management or its owner, Fred Lundgren. But then again, the views of broadcast management are, well, different. And now it's time for On the Mark Live with host Mark Westwood. Finally, a show about KCAA. Hot topics, a little locomotion, current events, news, laugh, reviews, and a little irreverence. And you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 3, 2, 1, Mark.
And good afternoon to you. Mark Westwood with you on the Mark. Right here on KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and 102.3 FM. A busy week, and I'm happy to herald in and have thrown the switch back on to KQLH 92.5. The music of Main Street is back on the air and beaming all over Southern California. We love it as part of our KCAA associate family here. And we have a new radio station that got reborn today, sounding better than ever. And, of course, we're on this radio station today. Lots going on. It's May, already the middle of May. I just asked Brandon, is it the 15th of May? He says, no, it's the 16th, Mark. I'm like, where did 15 days go? A quick month, that's for sure. And summer's right on us and right approaching, and lots of things going on. An election is coming up. We're going to talk about that in the second part of our show. We have a congressional candidate that's going to be calling in. Also, we have got all kinds of fun with different ways to make money. And KCAA is famous for that. You know, we are a CNBC affiliate, so we always have the financial news at the top of the hour. Also, we've got NBC News and NBC Sports on the weekends, and all of our entertainment news with Andrew Caravella, and also Blake Trolley with the Inland Empire News updates. And we're just sounding better than ever. And one of these better than ever shows is on Saturdays at 12 noon. It's called the Real Estate Expert Online Radio Show. Once again, just in case you missed that, the Real Estate Expert Online Radio Show. Saturdays at noon, right here on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. And now it's our privilege to speak to the two hosts that leave no investors behind, Cliff Gager and Lawrence Jacobson. Hello, Cliff. Hello, Lawrence.
How you doing?
Hey,
Mark, how's it going?
Pretty good. So you're going to have to identify each one of yourselves, and I'm going to introduce you, and as I introduce you, you say, yeah, that's me, okay? Someone with 18 years of real estate investing as a mentor, fixed and sold hundreds of single-family residences, helped thousands of people learn to make money in real estate quickly and easily, and has 25 years experience in real estate investing and lending business. Who am I describing?
That is me. That is Cliff. I've been doing this for a really long time. Kind of like the way you mentioned how fast the days went this month.
Yes.
It just poof. A long time.
Yeah, and now we have a 50-50 chance, folks, to describe Lawrence Jacobson. He's a business advisor, director, Twain Consulting, extensive background in business planning and structuring. He has estate planning and trusts under his belt, civil and criminal litigation, and bankruptcy. 11 years of experience representing Fortune 100 clients in administrative courts of law, and specializes in tax deeds and tax lien investing. Hello, Lawrence.
Well, now let's hold on a minute. Let's not, you glossed over the do stuff, and I think that the do part really needs more attention.
Okay.
Well, now, see, you've corrected it, and I feel we can go on.
Not do. Okay, I picked up on that really quickly there.
Good. I'm good.
I can tell you got a good sense of humor.
That's why you have the drive time show, Mark, because, you're just, and we all know that about you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very, very much. There'll be people that argue with you, trust me, but okay. I will take that, compliment. Thank you very much. Well, so we got something big coming up this weekend in the city of Rancho Cucamonga.
That's right, we do. The thing that is important to understand when you listen to our show on Saturdays at 12 noon is that the only one who talks more than I do is Cliff. And so, strictly speaking, since this is about real estate and my stuff is more collateral, if you know what I mean. I'm sure you all do. Mm-hmm. Google it if you don't. I mean, we don't have time. We're doing live radio here. So I'm just going to hand it over to Cliff, and you can just pepper him with questions. And when he falls apart, I'll step in and take over.
The buck stops as you pass it along. Okay.
That's it. Yeah, basically this weekend we're having a bus property tour, and basically what we do is for 2 days I teach people how to buy properties, fix them, and sell them. We teach them how to wholesale properties. I mean, pretty much everything that if somebody wants to get involved in real estate and they have little to no experience, I'm really good at helping them get started on a path to actually make money. Kind of like the TV shows, except we're more of a reality than the reality TV. And we also get on a bus and we go look at properties, and I walk people through of what to look for.
So is this a chartered bus, or is this an Omnitrans?
No. It's definitely a chartered bus.
Will you be serving cocktails or just some drinks? Or
no, no cocktails.
Getting you in deeper there.
Well, that's where Jake comes in, with the law side of it, the liabilities and whatnot. But yeah, we walk people through step by step exactly what to do in order to identify properties, find them, find really good deals in our market. I mean, this is being done right here all throughout Southern California and Northern California for that matter. You don't have to, if you live here and you want to invest here, there are possibilities, and I show people exactly how to do that.
Well, this sounds like it's really expensive. What's the ticket cost for this?
It is. The 2 days is very expensive.
Now, wait a minute. It's $1 million.
See, you notice when he pops in, right?
Yeah. It's worth $1 million, which is what you're saying, right?
Well, you do one deal, you make $1 million. That's what it's worth. But honestly, the event is absolutely free.
Free.
I've been doing this for a long time, and I hear the plight of people out there that say they just can't get really good information without spending a lot of money for it. And that's when I decided it's time to give back. And Jake and I are doing these 2-day events to help people identify whether they want to do this or not. And when you get accurate information on how to actually do these transactions, what happens is it makes people either decide whether they want to do this and move forward or not. And a lot of the training available out there is extremely expensive to get to that determining factor where they can make a decision if this is something they want to do or not. So what we do is we give them the information that they need to move forward and put a deal together, and let them decide, if it was worth the free admission. Because some people, they come in there and they pay, a huge amount of money, and then just discover that it's not for them. So we do these for free.
That's the best price.
Huge accolades, and people love our events. They come. I hear it time and time again. Is geez, we wish we would have met you and learned this before we went and spent a ton of money on other people out there. And not I'm not going to mention any of them, but some people understand that, the late night TV guys. But it's a thing where you can come to this event. It's free, and if it's something that you want to do, you've got the tools to go out there and do it, and we can help you with that. And that's our mission. That is our goal, is to help those people and try to get to them before they spend a ton of money on an education that they may or may not want.
Well, free is the best price in the world, and I know that there's people driving off the side of the road right now ready to write down information on how they can get in on this great, bus tour of, these homes in Rancho Cucamonga. How do they do that?
Well, the real simple way is to go to liverealestateevents.com. That's liverealestateevents.com. Or they can give us a call on our 800 number, which is 1-800. Jake, you can climb in on this one.
1-800-396-1501. That is 1-800-396-1501. Leave your contact information, a message of any length. If we don't respond right away, we will be surely to get back to you.
Well, very cool.
Actually, that rings right to my cell phone.
It does. Well, now this is something that is very cool because, more and more we're finding here in radio, I'm the general manager of the radio station. I've, kind of seeing this happening with the different shows. The shows that use texts do really, really well because people like to text. And so, maybe you choose a couple words like "take me" or "take me for free." And they could do that by calling 1-800-396-1501. You'll get their number. You can call them back, or you can text them back, and you can give them the information. Where they're going to meet. Where is there a special meeting place, or do you want to say that?
I'm sorry to interrupt, Cliff. Do we have a text number that they can call, that the people can call?
We do have it set up, but we don't have it set up for the registrations because it is something that is in the works. We just haven't implemented that yet. But I'd rather talk to them on the phone and get their information, or they can go to the website and
I
just,
didn't mean to put you on the spot there. Actually,
no, it's
great idea though, Mark.
Yeah. If they text to that 800 number, it will probably go right to your cell phone, but then you would just have to call them back. So, maybe that works out good if you're not answering the phone at 3 a.m. in the morning. But somebody wakes up in a dead sleep and goes, "Oh, I forgot to call them." But you'll still take their call, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It might go to voicemail at 3 a.m.
Might. You never know.
It just might. Yeah, that's true.
But
the event is going to be at the courtyard. Oh, go ahead. Jake is always interrupting me.
No, if you chose to do that after 2 a.m., you might get a really funny result too. So it might be worth it.
That's true too. No, don't.
And that number is we won't.
Right. Exactly.
Hello. Hi.
Well, the event is going to be at the Courtyard by Marriott in Rancho Cucamonga. It's 11525 Mission Vista Drive. And I believe the most important thing that I know is it's almost across the street from the Krispy Kreme donuts.
All right. Brandon, would you GPS the Krispy Kreme over there?
Right.
Yeah. No. Well, I believe it's off of 4th Street. If you just plug in 11525 Mission Vista Drive, it's right there.
Off of 4th Street, off the 15.
It is off.
Yeah, it's across the street from the mall. Is basically what it is.
So if you're going up the 15 freeway or down the 15 south or north, and you get off on 4th Street, the Krispy Kreme. I somehow know where this is.
or I think it's Ontario Mills Parkway is where you could get off, and then you just go to the north side of the mall.
Okay.
And it's is that on 4th Street? I'm trying to look at it. Yeah, I think it's on 4th Street, and it's right next to there's a Hilton Garden Inn right next to it too. So there's 2 hotels right there. Can't miss it. It says Courtyard right on the front.
Google is a wonderful thing, I tell you. Everybody,
amazing.
It's amazing. And
well, actually, if they go to the website, it's actually there's a map on the website. So if they go to it on their cell phone and they look up the thing, once they register, they can go and click on the map. It'll actually pull up directions to the map with their phone. So it's kind of like the GPS guidance. We'll take them right there.
Okay, Cliff.
Yeah,
we got a few more minutes here.
Sure.
You're the real estate guy, Lawrence tells me.
I am.
Or is it Larry? Is it Lawrence or Larry?
Lawrence.
Lawrence. Okay.
Actually, people call me Jake.
Jake.
Yeah.
Okay, Jacobson. That makes sense.
And he wears khakis. That's bad.
Okay, Cliff.
Boy, we sure are getting a lot of shout-outs to other companies besides ours. I hope they appreciate this.
That's right. They're getting free advertising. Cliff, so
yes, sir.
You come to this Courtyard Marriott Hotel.
Yep.
On Mission Vista Drive in Rancho Cucamonga. You see a bus in the parking lot.
It will be the bus will be there at noon, around noon to 1, and the beginning of the event is held inside the hotel in one of the meeting rooms. And what we do is we have a period of time where we introduce everybody on the team that is there to help them. We do an introduction of what we're going to do for the 2 days, and we also start working right away on how to identify properties and what to look for, and as far as how do you find really good deals, how do you determine if it's a good deal or not, and we go through the numbers and we go through the locations of the different resources available today of how do you find a house that you could possibly buy below market value. And there's a lot of different places that we go through in that preparatory time before we get on the bus and go out and actually look at some properties. And then the second day is in the classroom all day. You know, I go over all the aspects of how to start this as a business, whether if you want to do it full-time or part-time, going through what you need as far as your team, as far as the equipment, as far as the knowledge that you need in order to find properties, identify them, get them under contract, fix them up and sell them if that's what you want to do. And then we have a whole group of people that have taken my training in the past that are also looking for deals. So people that don't want to do the repairs and don't have experience do that, we have resources, and I teach you exactly how to wholesale that property to other investors. So we had a student in Boston recently wholesaled a property and made a $92,000 wholesale fee just for finding the property and selling it to another investor.
Nice bit of change there. I can only
so often the cases on these things, Mark, is that these are places like Boston, and we also have one in Connecticut, where you're not supposed to be able to do this. And California is another place where you're not supposed to be able to do this. So we have so many testimonials from people who are doing just that. We do. And it's a consequence, you know, and I don't want to get into a big thing about it. It's a consequence of the nature of the training that's being delivered.
Information is gold. Information is gold.
But you know, bad information is the opposite of gold.
Right.
We won't say that on the air, but you know,
it's not pretty, and it makes you sink.
Not pretty.
But you know, what time on Saturday if somebody wants to show up to this, or do you want them to call and register first?
Well, they can call and register. That would be great. The best thing to do is to do the online registration, because that will give you a lot of information on the location, because it'll automatically send you an email and give you information on the event and where it's going to be. But that's
liverealestateevents.com. Liverealestateevents.com.
Yes, sir. And it is plural, so it's events with an S. And the cool thing is, we start at 8:30, and we're going to go till about 6:30. So it's a long day, and I really deliver a lot of information. So it's 8:30 until 6:30 for both days, and it's located at the Courtyard by Marriott in Rancho Cucamonga. We do these not that often in each location, so if you're thinking, I'll just go to the next one, it'll be a while till we're back there again. So you definitely want to go there, you know, for this weekend.
Well, I was supposed to go to a wedding. Sorry, Charles and Lauren. Can't come. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I know. I
get out of giving a gift that way. Just kidding.
See, you could come to the event, learn how to do these deals, and then give them the gift of real estate.
No.
Oh, there you go,
I'm
Mark.
keeping it myself. No, I'm just kidding you. I love them, and I would do that if I had a lot of money. Anyway.
Touché, faux pas, and all those other French words.
Real estate.
You know, that's another thing. I don't mean to drag this out, but you don't even need a lot of money. You know, that's the myth, and I show people how they can do this with good credit, bad credit, little money, no money. I show, because I started with basically nothing, so I show them how to actually do this and be successful. So, again, liverealestateevents.com is the place to go and sign up.
And, by the way, if this is a little plug for your show, which is Saturdays at noon, which brings another point up, but we'll figure that out after the program. Who's doing the show on Saturday?
Well, we'll actually, I'm glad you said that, because we'll be doing the show live from the event site.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so we'll actually be doing it live in the training room right before we get on the bus.
These guys.
Right. Well, very good. And you know, if you missed all this, or you're driving down the road and you're just about to drive off the road trying to get all this information down, don't worry. You can go to kcaaradio.com and go to Saturdays and click on their show, and there's a little thing that says web. You click on that, and it brings it all right up. And it's liverealestateevents.com. I'm going to give you that number, 1-800-396-1501. Once again, it's an 800 number, 396-1501. Call that number, make your reservations. It's a commitment, folks. It's a little bit of a commitment for a lot of return. And that's what you need in this day and age. And a lot of people need a little second job, and it's better than going and, working at the In-N-Out Burger. It's better than,
Amen.
Doing those sorts of things. So, why not? This is going to fix your family up. It's going to fix you up. It's going to help you make money. And, you need to key in on what a lot of people are doing, and that is real estate's investment. And, the real estate experts, Cliff Gager. Is it Geiger? I always say Cliff.
Gager.
Okay, Gager.
Gager.
Cliff Gager and Jake Jacobson. Jake Jacobson are on every Saturday right here on the Real Estate Expert Online Radio Show here on KCAA. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys. I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Mark.
I do wish I didn't have that wedding, because this is something I would like to attend. So I'm going to be watching for the next one. But,
Mark, we always have to make hard choices in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, friendships are also an investment. And if this guy wasn't...
You're not touching that one, right?
Right. Well, actually, if this guy wasn't a business partner of mine from a long time ago, and we were business partners, I would probably say, hey, Charles, I got something better to. But, I haven't been to a million weddings. But at the same time, I'm going to attend his wedding. Yeah. But for everybody else out there, I do highly recommend, you make this commitment. It's a 2-day commitment, but it's like going to a 4-year university in 2 days. You're going to learn so much. You're going to gain so much from it. So put your seat in the seat over there at the Courtyard Marriott. Call right now, 1-800-396-1501, 1-800-396-1501. Reserve your seat now. It's close by. It's over in Rancho Cucamonga at the Courtyard Marriott Hotel. Going to be a nice event. And we thank you, Cliff and Jake, for being with us.
Thanks, Mark, for having us on the show.
Thank you. KCAA 1050 AM. Bye-bye, guys. KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 and 102.3 FM. I'm Mark Westwood. We'll have more on the other side of this with a lady named Barbara Ferris from the Marge Doyle for Congress campaign. We'll also be talking a little bit about the elections coming up, and we do have elections coming up very, very quickly in 20 days. And you still can participate. Listen after this.
You've been listening to On the Mark Live with Mark Westwood, a show about KCAA, the world, and you, with more to come in a moment.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside, and K293CF Moreno Valley.
Here's Replete Vegan Skincare founder Elizabeth Thoreau.
Investing in your beauty is investing in quality of your life. The secret is in Replete Spring Serum Complex. It puts elasticity back in your jawline contour for completely remodeling the effects of winter. It improves firmness. It gets rid of sagging and wrinkles. And it puts the smoothness, radiance, and freshness you want in a spring day.
RepleteSkincare.com for your skin to look and feel its best.
It's not just a home or a car. It's the 5 hours you spend in the kitchen mastering your epic wing recipe and the 3-hour family road trip to the tailgate party. While other insurance companies just see them as bundles or combos, State Farm agent Joe Amlani sees your home and car as the time and memories you put into them. Joe understands what your things really mean to you, and he's here to help you give them the protection that they deserve. Call State Farm agent Joe Amlani in Redlands for your home and auto insurance today. This segment of broadcasting brought to you by Tender Hearts TLC Incorporated. Tender Hearts, the helping hands for your loved ones, where they understand it can be difficult to find time in your already busy schedule to attend to all the needs of your aging loved one. Tender Hearts will be there for your loved one when you can't be. Tender Hearts TLC helps your aging loved ones stay in their home as they specialize in tender, loving, 24-hour service, including transportation to doctor's appointments, medication reminders, meal preparation, light housekeeping, and assistance with activities of daily living such as hygiene and grooming, orientation, and companionship. We thank Tender Hearts for their support of this station. Tender Hearts TLC, where they don't just care for your loved one, they give them tender, loving care. For more info, you can reach them at 909-528-9759. That's 909-528-9759 for Tender Hearts TLC.
And now it's time to batten down the hatches, because here comes more of Mark Westwood and On the Mark Live. 3, 2, 1, Mark.
And we're back with the second part of our show of On the Mark here on this Wednesday. A nice Wednesday it is here in the middle of May, in the middle of the month, in the middle of the week. And it's good to have you here. We have some important things happening. We just got finished, by the way, talking to the Real Estate Expert Online radio show. They're here Saturdays at noon. Cliff and Jake, they're going to have a big event coming up this weekend at the Courtyard Marriott. I want to mention it one more time. It is a University of Real Estate for 2 days. Make the commitment, put your seat in the seat, and you know what? You will gain financially, I guarantee you. If you want to find more information about that, I'm going to do it one more time, liverealestateevents.com, liverealestateevents.com. Now, moving on to the second part of our show, I like to include a lot of stuff. This is a potpourri of a show. We talk about community events. We talk about KCAA. We talk about politics. We talk about business. And, we've got an election coming up. If you hadn't noticed, maybe you've gotten a lot of those mailers in the mailbox, all those mailers, and you've probably heard some radio spots and TV spots now, and it's coming up June 5th. And, you can still vote. If you're not registered to vote, you have until May 21st to do so. That's just right around the corner, just next week. I'm not sure exactly what day of the week it is, but I imagine that's probably a Tuesday because that's the way it usually works. Brandon will tell me here in a minute what day of the week May 21st is, Brandon. And you can go to 777 East Rialto Avenue in San Bernardino. That's the San Bernardino County Elections Office. You can also just register online with the Secretary of State. I recommend you go down to the Registrar of Voters Office. There's also some additional locations in Lake Arrowhead at the fire station number 91. That's right there on State Highway 173. If you're in Lake Arrowhead, you know right where the fire station is. Beautiful fire station, by the way. Montclair Branch Library. If you're out in Montclair, you know where that is. It's 9955 Fremont Avenue. And in Victorville at 14343 Civic Drive in Victorville, none other than Victorville City Hall. Victorville City Hall. And then out in Yucca Valley, way out there on planet Yucca Valley, I call it, is the Yucca Valley Elks Lodge. The reason we call it that is because it's so far out in the desert. Yucca Valley, planet Yucca Valley. Yucca Valley Elks Lodge, and that is the Benevolent Order of Elks, number 2314. I'll give them a plug because I like elks. And that's over there on Yucca Trail in Yucca Valley. And, there's not a whole lot of buildings in Yucca Valley. So if you can't find the Elks Lodge and you're in Yucca Valley, well, just look. You'll see it across the horizon. That's the way you can register. You can also vote there, by the way, on Election Day. All of those spots I just mentioned. You can vote early. Why would you want to wait for Election Day when you can vote early? You can vote as early as 29 days before Election Day. You go to those locations, and you can vote at any one of those 5 locations. You don't have to wait until June 5th. You can also vote early by mail, and it's not too late to register to vote by mail. That's coming up, too. All kinds of important things. We've got Congress elections, state senator, state assembly, judicial offices, school offices, county offices, city offices, and propositions to talk about in the next few weeks. And I like to have different candidates on and different candidate information. And so today I would like to introduce to you the campaign manager of a very active congressional candidate who's leading in the polls, by the way, leading the incumbent, Paul Cook. Her name is Marge Doyle. She's a nurse, and she's running for Congress. And Barbara Ferris is the campaign manager managing that campaign. Hello, Barbara.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's exciting to work on a congressional campaign. I've done it before. Managing one must just be a momentous task. I can only imagine.
It is momentous. There are a million things happening all day, every day. But I have to say, I've run many a campaign in my life, and this one is extremely unique in that we have a team of volunteers that are highly skilled professionals and dedicated volunteers, and so we're really fortunate to have a volunteer team, a core team of 15 people who are extremely accomplished. And so everybody's got their job descriptions, and we're full blast ahead, 10, 12, 15 hours a day, and we're going to work it till we win it.
Work it till you win it. That's a great motto there.
Work it till we win it.
Work it till you win it. And they have the Put Marge in Charge theme and all kinds of things going on. It's an exciting campaign. I've been around it a little bit. I've seen how dedicated these people are to putting Marge in charge and putting that nurse in the halls of the United States Congress, which is great.
But, you know, Mark, what I want to say is this is the first time this district has had a highly qualified candidate, a highly qualified Democratic candidate, in many, many, many years. So we need every single Democrat to come out and vote and get your families to vote, because this is really the most important election, I believe, in our entire lives. If we are going to put the brakes on the destructive policies coming out of Washington, if we are going to put the brakes on our present member of Congress voting against veterans' interests, voting against people who need access to health care, voting against protecting and preserving our public lands, people have got to raise their voice.
It's kind of
not
hard.
An election to sit home.
Kind of hard to imagine that he's voting against all those things, and those things seem like just elementary, basic things. But I guess what he might do is just kind of call up and say, "Hey, how am I supposed to vote?" I guess, and he's voting along these partisan lines and these this weird kind of twisted agenda that's coming out of number 45 in Washington. California has 14 seats that might be possibly identified as being turned over in Congress. It could change the direction of this country just right here in this state. So a lot of people are saying that this is ground zero. This is ground zero.
Well, California is the fifth largest economy in the world. So everyone's looking at it, and as they should. And it's, I believe, oftentimes a leader in public policies that get shaped in our nation. This is sort of a great testing ground, and people are very committed to protecting the public lands that we have and looking out for each other. It's a very wonderfully unique state, and our district, as you know, is very rural. It's an 8-hour drive from top to bottom. It is 33,000 square miles, larger than the size of South Carolina. And I have to tell you, Marge has, and it includes Inyo and Mono, and Marge has been up north to Friars Walker and Inyo and Mono counties twice. She spent a week each time up there meeting with community leaders and tribal leaders and elected officials and small business people and, our immigrant communities. And it's a very, very exciting campaign, because this is the first time in a long time that people feel that they are being heard, that they are being listened to. Because Marge goes out on the campaign trail and says, "Tell me, what can I do for you when I get to Washington? Tell me how I can best represent you." And you don't hear that today.
No, you don't hear that a lot. You especially haven't heard that from the current sitting member of Congress, who refuses to meet with constituents, who refuses to go to town hall meetings, who refuses to kind of show up and just talk to the people. He just wants to sit virtually in the ivory tower and, legislate. And, maybe attend a parade. Take over.
To the voters, I say, look up the word represent. What does the definition mean? Because right now we don't have that. We have nothing. And we've got lots of events we're doing. Of course, it's got 3 weeks shy a day of Primary Tuesday, June 5th. So this Saturday we are hosting a day of action, Protect Our Water, co-hosted by Marge Doyle for Congress and the Sierra Club, who endorsed Marge. In Apple Valley, this Saturday, May 19th from 10 to 12. It's on our website, margedoyleforcongress.com. And we're also going to have get out the vote activities in the morning and the afternoon. So it's open to the public. We welcome everyone, and we're going to provide lunch. So come on down.
And these things can kind of be fun. You get to meet new people. You never know who you might meet. Folks, don't just live life in a virtual reality and go online, point and click. Get out there and step. Don't point and click, step out and get out of that cocoon that you're in and start to meet people, get involved. It's so important that you get active, especially, I think, in this next election where literally we could turn Congress over to the Democrats, who would then put a president in check. And that's what we need to do.
Put the brakes on every single hateful policy coming out of Washington that's destroying our communities and destroying our planet.
Just kind of crazy things like stepping out of the Iran nuclear deal, which, we don't like Iran, right? Except for the fact that it's going to drive oil up, and it already is. They just canceled their Boeing contract. The country of Iran did. $30 billion out the window for some political pontification and chest pounding. These are things, the folks, that whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, you don't like this. You don't like what's happening. John McCain, who is a star Republican who ran for president of the United States and the Republican nomination, has said, I don't want anything to do with this guy. And we have a lot of people in Washington that are afraid to move. They're scared to move. They're scared of the attacks they might get. And the scary thing about this, and it sounds so batshit. Oh, excuse me, did I say that? Bump it. So bat crazy. I just cussed on my own radio station. That it's hard for me to say it because it makes me sound crazy too. But the Russians are here. When I first heard a county official who's talking about elections and voting talk about, they're getting hacked all the time, and that they have to fight it out every day because they have Russians, trying to hack into their system. That's when it really started to go locally. That's happening locally. Oh yeah, ground zero is San Bernardino County. Ground zero is San Bernardino County.
Oh, California's ground zero.
And California, yeah.
That's right. They're very. Right now.
But if there's a 0-0, if there's a 0-0 in California, it's San Bernardino County. It's right here. And in the 8th Conditional District, it is. And that's why it's so important to fight against this Russian invasion of our country, this incursion that's happening, is to get out there and work for Marge.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, for those that haven't had the great opportunity to meet Marge, she's a registered nurse. She's been in the healthcare profession for nearly 4 decades. She's now an senior executive with a healthcare company, responsible for opening up clinics across the country. But, Marge saved our rural hospital here in Joshua Tree. And,
that's a remarkable
they were on the verge of closing and on the verge of bankruptcy, and Marge got together, worked across the aisle, and she saved the 600 jobs associated with it. And we now, in less than 3 years, we now have $15 million in reserves. So we didn't go bankrupt, and we expanded. Marge worked hard, and she got them to expand services in pediatric care and dental care and vision care. So unlike any other candidate in this race, Marge has a demonstrated track record of success.
Right.
She's worked with multi-million-dollar budgets. She's worked across the aisle. Marge is a very practical solution-oriented person. She's had her own healthcare scares in her life, and she understands that one healthcare crisis can lead you to bankruptcy, it can lead you to homelessness, and it can even lead to death. That's why she fought so hard to save the hospital.
So often here, and don't you agree with this, we often say, things kind of casually. Million, billion, trillion, and that sounds the same. But what you just said is so remarkable, Barbara, that she saved by herself, and this is true, a hospital.
Well, it wasn't exactly by herself, but she took a leadership role and brought all the...
Yeah, she led it. Absolutely.
Yeah, she led the effort, and these people now do not have to drive an hour to a hospital for health care. And Mark, as well as I do, that in and of itself can result in death if you don't have access to health care.
Right. Absolutely.
And we're not talking about one person. We are talking about families. We are talking about, people's lives. And we have an administration that doesn't seem to care about that. And we have actually a representative, if you can believe it, who voted. He voted for 115,000 of his own constituents to lose their health care. That, to me, is cold and callous.
Yeah, and the motivation is just they're told how to vote. They vote the way they do because they have to get that money to campaign and put, I don't know what they're doing, but, they do this. I just heard yesterday that they're trying to cut food stamps. Trump wants to cut food stamps.
And child health insurance programs.
Yeah, SNAP. Yeah.
Meals on Wheels, Farm Aid.
This is serious stuff.
You've got to understand, everyone except our Native Americans are immigrants. Every single one of us have immigrated here from somewhere.
We heard all these we heard all these Californians talk about, the price of gas went up because of the 16-cent levy on emissions, carbon emissions that was put in effect about 8 years ago and went into play. And everybody was complaining about that. But, folks, have you noticed in the last 2 days what's happened? It's not gone up at 16 cents. It's not gone up 30 cents or 40. It's gone up 72 cents in a lot of places. 72 cents. That's a huge, huge increase. That's much, much more than any Democrat you could accuse in California, and that is caused directly because Mr. Trump, number 45, decided, I don't like this Iran nuclear deal. We're pulling out of it, leaving behind Japan and China and Great Britain and all these other countries who, these aren't dumb countries. They're not being taken advantage of. And it was a heck of a deal. Without knowing the details, without knowing what was really happening, without knowing that they were really winding down that nuclear program and they had made, there was a tremendous successful treaty, and he just stepped out of it like a knee-jerk reaction. And now this chain of events, this domino chain of events, Iran won't do any business with us. A lot of people are afraid to get into any involvement in any kind of treaties or agreements with us now. And this is like we could keep pulling out of this stuff and pulling out. And, it's affecting us directly because our gas prices went up. It's going to affect jobs at Boeing in the state of California and all over the nation because, the 16...
And our farmers are taking a huge hit with their crops because, we've lost the labor force that takes care of it. And you're going to see, Americans, not in California, but across the country, are going to see our food prices go up. We're looking at trade deals that are an extreme problem because now other countries are not going to buy from the United States our soy and our corn. They're buying from other countries. So what I would suggest to your listeners is to really take the time to be informed because this is such an important election, not just for California and not just for District 8, but really for the survival of our democracy. And if we're going to take back this nation, we need some common sense policies that address the needs of the majority of the population.
But don't you agree, Marge, it's beyond political at this point when I'm talking about health care, food stamps. We have crops in the breadbasket of America, which is Central California, rotting on the ground because we can't get them harvested. Why can't we get them harvested? What is that labor force we've already lost? Folks, we've already lost it. If you're an immigrant family member, if you are not a citizen of the United States, the last thing you're going to do is show up on a bus in the middle of a field for ICE to come and get you and scoop you up and send you back over the border and separate you from your family. So of course you're not going to work. If you're not going to work, the crops aren't getting harvested. And we're going to see, a head of lettuce going up, $10 a head, and this is not being, doomsday. This stuff is happening right now.
Oh, this is very real. And Mars, like everyone who has a family, is absolutely committed to ensuring that families are not ripped apart because we have archaic policies that don't really address reality. And she's advocating that we work together to find a viable path to citizenship for immigrants.
Yes, comprehensive.
They paid billions of dollars in taxes. They contribute significantly to our economic growth and development. And, you have to be practical about it. You have to be practical about it. And Marge is a very practical candidate. She's actually attracted quite a number of Republicans who have crossed over who are frustrated with, exactly what you had said earlier in the show, is that they can't get their representative who's sitting in that seat now to give them a call back or to meet with them or to hold an open town hall meeting to the public. So there's a lot of frustration, and, there's a lot of frustration. You don't vote to take away benefits of the veterans who have served and sacrificed to protect our freedom. That's just wrong.
And disagreement if you will, but, I know you agree with this, that we should send Marge Beer not just for politics, not just for votes or to make one party more powerful than the other, but when one party or some part of that party is so wrong and so fouled up that you need good people in Washington to see what's going on here, folks, is we have 40 representatives of the House of Representatives, the largest in history have said, we're not going to run. We don't
Right.
want any part of this.
Right.
And we're out of here because we won't be able to get reelected. We
Right.
have a lot of Republicans that are crossing over and saying, we're going to vote for Democrats. From John McCain all the way, down to local Democrats here in San Bernardino County that I've talked to, who said
Right.
that they're probably going to vote for Marge Doyle, and they're probably going to vote for other Democrats they never thought they would vote for before.
Right.
Because this change needs to happen in Washington, D.C., because the current scheme of things in Washington, D.C. is, Trump could do any kind of crime he wanted right on the White House lawn, and they're not going to take him out.
Absolutely correct. And that's why we have a system of checks and balances, and that's what our founding fathers, that was their intention, that no one party had absolute power. So that's why this election is extremely important. And I really hope that your listeners and their family and friends take the time to get informed. Go to our website, margedoyleforcongress.com. She talks about the importance of education, the importance of bringing a 4-year college to our district. She talks about the importance of increasing opportunities for trade and vocational school and doing it in partnership with the high schools, with apprentice programs, with community colleges, with the labor unions. And water is a big issue. As I said earlier in the show, we're having a day of action this Saturday, April 19th, in Apple Valley from 10 to 12, and co-sponsored by the Sierra Club, to protect our water. Because we have a representative right now who wants to sell it off, and he's got, plenty of money from Nestle's and Cadiz, and we all know that water is a finite resource and a precious gift.
Lots of things going on, by the way, too.
Yeah,
you go to 10 to 12 to this out there, for Cadiz and the water, and you're going to get an education about that. And that's something you're going to go, oh, my gosh, they're even affecting our water right now. And, these things are things that we see start to come down the pike. We hear about it, but, it's a little bit of a delay before we really start to feel it. And that's the very good thing that they're doing from 10 to 12 this Saturday, April 19th. And where is it again?
It's in Apple Valley, and if you RSVP, we'll send you the address to the rally.
Okay, at margedoyleforcongress.com.
Right, and in our Facebook page and Sierra Club, we've got speakers lined up, we've got activities lined up, we've got education opportunities, and then we're going to get out the vote, because we need everyone to vote for Marge Doyle for Congress on June 5th, or if you've gotten your mail ballots already in the mail, you know how to mark them. Please vote for Marge Doyle. It's for the good of our district, the good of California, and the good of our nation. And
there's also another event going, if you're not going to go out to Yucca Valley, or even if you go to Yucca Valley, you can still get to this event. It starts at 1 and goes to about 3 or 3:30. It's in Yucaipa. I have it listed right here. It is a day of action in Yucaipa as well, and people are going to be phone banking and sending out postcards and walking. And that's they meet at the Yucaipa Unity Center, Unity of Yucaipa, up there, way up on Avenue E, it looks like. And you can go there and participate and help and get involved. And again, folks, don't point and click, step out. Don't point and click, step out. Get involved. Be virtual. Life doesn't happen online. You can get a good picture of it, but you're not going to be in the picture. And
as they say, this is not dress rehearsal.
Absolutely.
Everybody's got to be engaged.
Isn't it amazing? The amazing times we are, and some of the things I catch myself saying, and like I said, make me kind of look crazy and sound crazy, but I'm not. I'm really not. I'm kind of a centrist, kind of a moderate kind of guy politically, and I find myself sounding like a liberal or sounding extremist, but I'm not. But I think what's happened is that there's been a shift, some sort of a time, I don't know, shift or something.
The thing is, Mark, we have a limited amount of resources to solve problems.
Right.
That's our challenge. And Marge is a very practical person. She's very pragmatic in her approach to how do we solve a problem? What are the resources we have? Who are the stakeholders? Let's all come together and find a solution. What do you want? What do you need? And what can you live with?
It's basics. It's basics.
Yeah, and it comes with dialogue, and she's open to dialogue. She's open to listening. And right now, we do not have that in the 8th District, and none of the other candidates. Not one of the other candidates in this race have gone up to Inyo and Mono counties and spent a week meeting voters, meeting leaders, meeting all the community stakeholders. So I give Marge an awful lot of credit. She is campaigning 18 hours a day, as she has been for the last 8 months. And to your point in the beginning, that's why it's a competitive race.
That's right.
And quite frankly, what we want is we want Marge in the top two. We do not want two Republicans, to be perfectly honest.
And she's kind of getting focused in on a little bit and targeted a little bit. We won't talk about that. But the fact is that happens in these races. And you know you're kind of successful and you're making inroads when that starts to happen. Marge is not a politician, folks. That's what I like about Marge Doyle. Marge is a person who is a nurse. Who better to care for us than a nurse, someone who's trained to care for us?
And Marge cares, absolutely.
And she will nurse us along in Congress. And
we need a nurse in Congress.
That's right. You want to do that. You want to put somebody who's very, very qualified. So you want to give some money to Marge Doyle to help her with her campaign, because we all know that money is the mother's milk of politics, unfortunately. How would somebody do that?
You can go to margedoyleforcongress.com and click donate, and all the information is there. Anything that you can afford would be lovely and generous, and Marge will be happily grateful for it. And we look forward to people coming out to vote. More importantly, I can tell you, having worked with Marge for the past 8 months running her campaign, she absolutely looks forward to serving every single person in the 8th district. Her door is open, her office will be open, and she's looking forward to helping people solve their problems, address issues, and finding solutions to these really critical things that affect our daily lives.
So if you're one of those people that doesn't respond to, okay, I'm driving down the road and I don't text and I don't do emails and I'm not somebody who's online very much, and I just want to pick up the phone and call, what's the phone number?
Oh, well, there you go. The phone number is, give me a split second here.
Oh, I put her on the line there. That's okay.
On the website. My website went down, of course.
Oh, okay.
So it's 760, hang on, let me look. It's all the way down here. It's really, you could have said that early on.
That's all right. I'm looking too.
Well, let's give you the address first. 14335 Hesperia Road in Victorville, and our office is staffed morning to night, and our phone number is 760-820-2819.
Okay.
Again, that phone number is 760-820-2819, and we welcome your calls and we welcome your help.
That's right. Day of action in Apple Valley. Register online at margedoyle.com. They'll tell you where it is. It is from 10 to 12 this Saturday. Also at 1 p.m. at Unity of Yucaipa on the most distal point of Yucaipa on E Street in Yucaipa. Unity of Yucaipa. Google it. You'll find it. They're going to have an action-packed afternoon there, too, that will help work for Marge. And like I say, don't point and click. Step out. Get involved. It's been good talking to you, Barbara, and it just seems like we've run out of time before we just get started. But
thank you, Mark.
Thank you very much. Barbara Ferris, the campaign manager for Marge Doyle for Congress. Marge is running in the 8th Congressional District as a Democrat and leading the pack, including the incumbent, raising more money, and she's ahead in the polls. We wish you the best of luck. Thank you, Barbara.
Thanks so much. Yep.
And thank you to our listeners. Earlier we had Cliff and Jake on from Real Estate Experts Online Radio Show. They have an event this Saturday, too, if you're interested in real estate. Lots of going on. And you can register there, too, on the realestateevents.com and liverealestateevents.com. Liverealestateevents.com, that's plural. And you can get in on that, too. Lots going on this weekend and lots to step out with. I'm Mark Westwood for On the Mark on KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and 102.3 FM. Join us next week at the same time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for listening to On the Mark Live, hosted by Mark Westwood, a weekly show about this station, hot topics, local motion, and the world around us. Join us next week as we hop back on the KCAA Express for another ride on the Mark.